NASA said today that 2017 was the second hottest year on record since modern measurements began in 1880. The agency's findings continue a decades-long trend of global warming.
You know about climate change, the idea that basically greenhouse gases are trapping heat from outside, and you are correct. They're now well over 90% saying that human activity is responsible for the preponderance of this. Important to note, they're saying there are other factors.
And this is how they get the child out of the cow. It's horrible, right? This is a spent dairy cow, so she wouldn't be able to produce any more milk, so they pull her up and take her to a slaughterhouse. This is the egg industry, so male chicks are useless in the egg industry because they won't produce eggs because they're male, and they also won't grow to be as fat as the ones that we eat for meat, so as soon as they're born they're thrown these macerators and they're ground up alive.
The more dependent we are on meat, milk, and eggs, the greater the CO2 and methane emissions. Cattle and ruminants of all kinds produce methane as a byproduct of breaking down grass and other things that they feed on.
One cow is not a problem, but now we have 1.5 billion of them. And it's an incredibly inefficient way of producing food. 3/4 of agricultural land is used just to feed livestock. When you factor in everything, the clearing of the land for grazing, feeding, transporting, livestock causes more greenhouse gases than all the direct emissions from the entire transportation sector.
To produce just 1 pound of beef takes over 2,000 gallons of water. And because we're so inefficient growing food to feed our food, in many countries people are starving as vegetables that are grown all around them and should go to feeding them are instead fed to animals for wealthy people to eat.
The largest ice sheet in the northern hemisphere is simply melting away.
The melt is winning this game.
The only reason these things happen is because we pay for them to happen. Which means that if we find it upsetting, we have the power to make it end. The United Nations has stated that to avoid the worst effects of climate change, the world needs to shift to a plant-based diet. That's not a vegan activist telling you that. That's not a vegan organisation. That's not vegan propaganda. That is the United Nations making a very stark and honest comment to people. So if you do not change the way that you live, and it is such a simple change, we will be the ones to feel the consequences. We will be the generations that feel the consequences of the actions that we make today.